skills.
All right, welcome. Hopefully everyone saw that intro. We are here now for the 2021 Advocate Awards, Volunteer Awards. We have myself, Jared Napolitano, the Marketing Advocate. I'm here with Scott Lingrell, Lead Advocate, and Chris Kelly, Design Advocate. So first off, sorry for getting started a little late. We have a lot to talk about. Really exciting show. We have like four kind of big things. Four really cool things to talk about. Three really big things. And we're going to dive into them, and I think everyone will really enjoy what we have to say. So I guess I'll start, and I'll definitely toss it to Scott in a second here. So in prior years, some people will notice on the website for StarWarsCCG.org, there's a section for awards. There are Player of the Year awards, there's World Champions, there's Volunteer of the Year awards. And in the past, at least what was recorded on the website, some years there's one person who gets it, some years there's been a couple. I know last year was extraordinary. I think we had like 8 or 10 people get advocate awards. And I know, in addition to that Volunteer of the Year award, Scott is usually, thank people for volunteering in a couple different ways or a little more ad hoc throughout the year. But one idea we had this year was, each of the advocates can pick someone and recognize them, personally, directly on, a stage like this and just, call out, hey, you did a great job this year. Thank you. So we'll get into that, and we'll also do the Volunteer of the Year award at the end of the 7 for each of us. So I guess let me toss it to Scott. Any thoughts just on kind of the history and how you've kind of done these Volunteer of the Year award processes?
Yeah, so for the most part, we didn't really have a formal way of doing it. It was just a matter of we knew who was really good at what they were doing and really helping us and volunteering in an amazing level. And we just kind of talked about it and picked somebody. And I like the way that you're doing it, where we have something formalized and it's going to be a consistent way to do it. It's definitely an awesome way that you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and going forward, we're going to try to do this where, we do like 7 and 1 each year. We'll try to mix it up. There are a couple people this year who got one of the ones last year. But I know going forward, we're going to try to because there's just so many people doing so many great things for the game and the community. So we want to make sure we're recognizing everybody. Chris, any quick thoughts before we jump in?
Yeah, just echo what Scott said. I think obviously you formalizing it's a great move in the right direction. I remember back when I was just a proofer, Scott had given me an advocate award, the IE foil, and it meant the world to me. So I love how this has grown. Even though that IE slip has been errated a few times, I still have it. It's still the one I use, and I love it. So I know these things are really just small gestures from us to you guys to thank you for all the work you do. But I know that it meant a lot to me when I got it, and I hope, we can repay the favor to you all.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a little rundown here so people can have a little bit of a visual to go through as we're here we go. Hopefully we do a lot of stuff here with less of a hitch than initial. All right, so I'm going to have it up here. I'm going to do, I steal this trick, I think, from Joe Olson with his tournament report, where he would gradually show the, or maybe
more
not.
And more.
Maybe that might not work. I need to have this on top. All right, we'll just go slowly. All right, so we have our 2021 Advocate Volunteer Awards, and this would be a lot better if I was on 2 screens. But all right, so first up, we have Keith, our Communications Advocate. So Keith's pick is Chris Hull, a.k.a. Joker King. And I have a little write-up here. Let's see. There it is. All right, so let's dive in here. So here's what Keith has to say about Chris. The advocates would like to recognize Chris Hull, Joker King, for his outstanding volunteer work this year. Chris has been an invaluable help stepping up as co-lead of the proofing team, work that has very low visibility but requires a lot of time commitment and attention to detail. He has also helped with adapting the operational guide for the new JEMP UI Epic Duel, and has been very active on the playtesting team, often up for a game to help move testing along, especially as court, to no one's surprise. Outside of directly volunteering, Chris has also been helpful as a Star Wars CCG brand champion of sorts, active and engaging during the Holo Theater shows, as I'm sure Dan can attest, and other live streams, and also promoting our marketing material online to showcase the kind of cool stuff we've been sending out lately. Thanks, Chris, for all your help. You're very appreciated. And one quick thing I'll add on there, just being an advocate, we can see a lot of what's going on, and the proofing threads are incredible. How much activity is on there, and that stuff. And Chris was mentioning being on the proofing team before, that stuff is that is a labor of love. so thank you, Chris Hull. You are one of our 7 Advocate Award winners. All right, next up. And I'll get to the end, too, because we're going to have some special prizes for all these folks, again, to thank them for what they've done. All right, next up we have Matt, Special Projects and Multimedia, and his award goes to Devin Hubner. So, Devin, here's what Matt had to say. I am pleased to nominate Devo Kuhn, a.k.a. Devin Hubner, for my choice as recipient of an Advocate Award for the work he has done the past 2 years as the PC's web admin. Devin brought incredible experience and technical skills to the team at a much-needed time when we were experiencing major outages of the website. Everyone remember that when the forums would go down and it was like chaos? He introduced himself to us in early 2020 and graciously volunteered to fix the major issues we were having on our sites, keep them online, and since then has also led the way on a number of other continuous improvements. Devin is truly one of the unsung heroes of the PC, being available around the clock to improve our online presence at a time when playing online was the only option for most players. And I can attest to that being available around the clock, because there was one time I thought I broke the website and did something in Beaver Builder and immediately had to call up Devin and apologize, and he was very, very gracious and and fixed it immediately. Okay. Next, we have our rules advocate, Greg Zinn. His award goes to Stephen Fulner, a.k.a. Fungineer. So, the advocates recognize Fungineer Stephen Fulner as an Advocate Award volunteer for all the outstanding work he's done for us on the rules team. Stephen never shies away from difficult conundrum or scenario, but it's much more than merely weighing in on those tough questions. When reviewing necessary rules changes and clarifications, Stephen digs deep to find the most obscure interactions that must be accounted for and provides detailed analysis and writes up proposed changes. This same attitude carries over into Stephen's JNap playtesting, where he can always be counted on to test the craziest scenarios, pushing the cards to their limits to uncover bugs, reports them accordingly, and retests the fixes. This unique perspective that Stephen brings to rules and playtesting are incredibly valuable to the ongoing success of our game, and it's that hard work that he puts in after the fact that makes him an Advocate Award winner. Stephen also does one of the most tireless jobs you'll find as a player card developer. In this role, Stephen patiently educates and iterates with players to help them bring their player view card designs into reality. We thank Stephen for all the work he's done under all these different roles. And Stephen is one of the most active playtesters, and I have a prize I actually owe him. So if you're watching, Stephen, I'm going to get you something to thank you for that, as well as this Advocate Award. Okay. All right, so moving along, our 4th Advocate Award winner from Chris Schoenthal, our tournament advocate, is Justin Miyashiro. Congratulations, Justin. Here's what Show wrote. Since joining the tournament committee in early 2021, Justin has been a never-ending font of ideas, resources, and suggestions for improving our tournament processes. His background as a Magic judge has brought a professional perspective to the discussions we have in the tournament committee and given us some firm foundations for important areas of improvement. Perhaps most importantly, he's jumped directly into piloting a tough project and is working on both an update to the tournament guide and a new document that we hope to release next year. I am grateful to have him on the team and look forward to how we can further improve our organized play going forward. So congratulations, Justin. Okay. All right, next up is me. Let me just check the chat, make sure we didn't drop the stream or anything.
We're good.
Yeah, cool. All right, so this is me. My award goes to James Martin, a.k.a. Solid Snack. So I'll go here. So James has been an integral part in communicating via social media. He's inherited a good chunk of the Twitter management post. He does the card of the week. He has taken and reinvigorated the Instagram account. He also promotes all sorts of stuff on Discord and the JNap lobby. You guys will see him talking a lot about Holo Theater, any streaming events. He's been great about promoting them, lining up tweets, and getting the word out. And in addition to our great streaming team led by Dan, I think what James has done to really just get the word out is a big reason why our Twitch followers, and you guys watching on here, in a year it's gone from 585 followers to 870. So that's almost 50%, if I did the math right. So that's incredible how much more people, and of course the YouTube, Twitter, all the other outlets, Discord's doubled in size, more than doubled I think in the last year. So he's been a huge part of all of that. And also, in addition to just social media, he's helped with the Decklist Scribe team. He works with Sean Lukes and Brad Iyer to get Decklist posted very quickly. And then he's also helped Scott and me with the donations program. If you were a tier, I guess it's a 4 donor or above, and you got an uncut sheet of foils that you could pick out. He was the one who coordinated all that, and that again is it's a lot of going back and forth and making sure that the everything's in line with the guidelines we laid out. So thank you, James, for all your work this year. Next, we have Chris. So I'm going to take a break and throw it to Chris. His award winner is Dan Tartaglione.
So I'm a little at a disadvantage. When you said Advocate Awards, I thought we were getting awards. So I didn't prepare a speech like the rest of you did. But no, seriously, I've had the privilege of working with a bunch of volunteers, some great names already named, some to come, and just so many other people that we can't thank enough. But someone who really does stick out as far as a great volunteer is obviously Dan. Every Wednesday, he fills our nights with something to do. And just speaking from behind the scenes, Hollow Theater is really fun to watch. It is. But the amount of work that goes into producing that show is incredible. And I know I took it for granted, certainly before I was on it a few times and I saw the prep work that goes into each show before the show starts, thinking of the swing and the miss questions, thinking of the challenges, lining up hosts, scheduling it. It's a job, and Dan does it great. It's kind of, become his baby, and it's a really fun time and show to watch. And I think that's kind of why, it's really a kind of a privilege to present it to Dan, because when Dan's streaming, when Dan's on Hollow Theater, it makes Star Wars fun. And to me, that's really important. I can't really, you all saw the difficulty we had streaming this, and Dan does it week in and week out. So my hat's off to him. He also volunteers in other areas, the graphics department. He makes those Hollow Theater packs. He makes the foils. He just makes this community better. And I honestly can't picture an event, whether it's GEMP or in person, without hearing Dan's voice. And that's the biggest compliment I can give someone, that this game has meant so much to all of us. He's such an integral part of it. So congratulations, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then we have Scott. This is the 7th, last but not least. And it goes to Christian Knutson.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the interesting things about Christian is Chris Menzel and I were talking, and he was like, listen, you absolutely need to see what he can do. And one of the things that happened is when Tomas and Kevin took over the graphic design for the building the virtual cards, they started to update things. And Christian came in with the help of Ronnie maybe a few months ago and said, hey, listen, we really need to put a structure in place to make sure everything is consistent. Everything is exactly the way Decipher did it. And he has spent hours and hours working with everybody to just make sure it's perfect. I mean, Ronnie, him and I were having these discussions over and over again, looking at like the tiniest grain of an image to say, hey, this is the exact spot that something goes. Here's the exact size that it goes. And part of that was working with, the proofing team from their standpoint, saying, hey, we think it should go here. Are we good with that? Where do we want it to go? Because sometimes we're making some new icons, right? And so he has just been amazing at getting that up to speed and then training Ronnie how to do it, so Ronnie can kind of help redesign all the virtual cards. Because remember, one of the things that we're doing now that we have this process and this guide is we're going back to the beginning of every virtual card, and we're redoing them for GEMP and high resolution. We're doing it to make the layout perfect. Once we go from there, we'll see where we go with as far as Decipher errata and things like that. But we have a big hopes and dreams, and part of that was all because Christian is so motivated to help us figure this out, and so he has absolutely been fantastic with this.
Yeah, you're here.
Not to mention all the graphic design stuff he normally does. But
yeah, like finding great images. Like we got a bunch of compliments for the Mara one, but I'm like, obviously that one's an interesting situation where it's the old image. But I mean, we just have so many, and Chris knows this even more than I do. It just seems like there's so many great full slip art now that there's less and less C slips and half slips, and just awesome full slip stuff.
You know, even last a set with the Wookiee encampment picture, right? We were trying to look at it, and it didn't really have that smoke or that cloud look to it. And he's like, hey, give me a few minutes. And he was able to kind of make it. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, he's fantastic, and I'm really happy to have him.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to give a quick shout out to a bunch of there's just so many good volunteers. These were really tough choices. So I want to give a quick shout out to a lot of folks, and then I'm going to toss it to Chris to do our Volunteer of the Year Award, the John Anderson Volunteer of the Year Award. But huge shout outs to, obviously, Bill Kafer's running the Jawa Cup right now. He did a lot with Worlds this year. He helps run the NPC. Chris Goglin with the OCS tournament director, all the programming he's done with his show and streaming. Ming, the graphics lead, he's done a great job this year. Joe Olson does like the newsletter for marketing. He's done a lot of streaming as well. Robbie Hendon was just our tech guy. He obviously helped a lot with Holotheater this year as well. Eric Lands, who did the new UI that debuted earlier in the year, which has been really neat, and a lot of new players, I think, really utilize that, and I love using it for streaming and all. Ron Howe, who maintains Holotable, which is still used, and some players still prefer it, has some benefits. And also, I want to shout out to Chris Menzel and Kevin Yap, who have done incredible stuff with prize support and graphics. A lot of you folks who get prize support this year, and you thank me, and I try as often as possible to say, a lot of that stuff is those two guys. They're huge parts of it. And then obviously members of the marketing team like Ming and Dan and Christian as well has helped with a lot of really cool graphics for marketing. So, if you're not on that list, I apologize. There's just so many people that we want to always be thanking. And I'm sure that, next year we're going to have another good fresh batch of people to thank. And I just hope everyone just keeps doing great stuff, because the game has really grown leaps and bounds in the last couple of years for sure.
One quick thing, it's funny because even little things like, Brock, one of the players that I actually was on the Mind What You've Learned group, basically Brock was like, hey, I had an idea. He'd been doing some GEMP programming, Brock Hall. And he was the one that came up with we basically put for April Fools, we had the 2-player Vader and Luke be broken on GEMP. Yeah. So it's like things like that where a player and I have an idea and they're like, hey, let me do this, let me do that. So it's really awesome to see players kind of come up with ways to help that maybe are creative or different, right? That's awesome.
Absolutely. All right, Chris. So the honor is yours.
I'll just say again, thank you to all volunteers, named and not named. You all know who you are. I have the privilege of working with so many of you, and we really are grateful for every one of you. The game wouldn't be the same without you. This particular individual, we all pretty much fought over who would get to present it, and I won because I threatened to errata everyone's favorite cards. So I am beyond pleased and honored to present the John Anderson Award to Adam Fletcher, EBT. I am humbled because I don't even know how to properly convey Adam's contributions to the game. I always joke about my PM box, but I do that to Adam. I'm slacking him all the time, asking him questions. He volunteers in so many capacities. He obviously is the proofing lead, which I obviously have a fiction for. He is a GEMP slicer. He's Siri. He spits out the stats. He's on the competitive balance team. He like I said, is basically my Slack right-hand man. Anytime D&D has a question, whether it's if a card will fit in a template or if something is codable in GEMP, I go to Adam. I've run some pretty big decisions made recently by him, gotten his thoughts on it. And just when you look at the PC flowchart of all the branches, it seems like Adam's all over it. This game would not be the same without him. And just like as I'm saying this, when you put it in perspective of the whole card flow process, Adam's helping D&D make cards fit. So he's working on the development of the cards. He's putting the cards into GEMP so the playtesters can playtest them. So
quickly,
he's shaping
like
the cards
fast, like mind-blowingly fast.
Unbelievably fast. It's he is Siri.
Yeah.
But so he's helping shape the cards so the playtesters can use them. He then is proofreading the cards so that they get PDF'd correctly. He then is putting them into GEMP as final products and on a PDF so we can use them. Then he's on CBT, the competitive balance team, so that when the cards are made, we make sure that they're correct. Then he spits out the stats for the CBT to use. It's just, this guy is in all facets of the game. It's really an honor. I can't think of someone more valuable to this game outside of, obviously Scott, who could really just make this what we enjoy. So congratulations, Adam. It really, I have nothing but respect, and I really appreciate everything you're doing for the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to jump in. Adam's one of my teammates. We started talking about early last year about, hey, what about this stat? What about this stat? And I mean, it just shows up I remember I asked about the tournament committee. We were debating the Sidious persona thing, and he just replies the stats like immediately. And it's just, I can't even begin. I'm like speechless just in all the different ways that Adam has furthered the game, being him and Jeremy, I think are the two lead jump slicers, and jumps just exploded in popularity. Those AI packs, he's a big part of getting those out to people. I'm just always kind of firing things at him and saying, hey, please can you do this? Please can you do that? And yeah, that proofing stuff's incredible. The jump slicing stuff is just incredible, the work he's done. Thank you, Adam. So yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I'm just even thinking of all these other volunteers that would just another quick shout outs to like Kendall, the bad deck breakdowns, with CRG, and then of course we have Jeremy DePaul. Like I said, he's probably the second most active jump slicer, but the whole jump slicing team, what those guys are doing is fantastic. And that I think Jump has been just phenomenal, not only for current players, competitive players, for design, and the stats that Adam can pull out to really get us a better understanding of what's going on in the game. But it's been great for throwback players, casual players, all different formats. So huge props. Yeah, go one, Bill. So yeah, congratulations again to Adam and all the volunteer. Actually, that was the exciting part. Well, not everything's very exciting, but now what you guys are getting as ways for us to thank you tangibly. So let me jump into that. So you guys are each going to get a trophy glass that says 2020 Advocate Award, like everyone got last year. Also, I have these very rare poker chips that are, let's see if this works. That's the Death Star. These are gray. There's only 100 of these, and these are very, very rare. They go to obviously Advocate Award winners. They're going to go to Outrider Cup members, and I think other very rare instances. So you guys get one of those. We're also going to do, and this is something that Christian had been doing for a lot of different events like regionals and states. Each of the 8 volunteer winners can pick a full slip virtual card that preferably has like no lore or very minimal lore, and we'll have like 2021 Advocate Award winner and really cool font in the lore. You get a couple copies of those for your decks. And then special prize support to be announced. That'll segue into something that we're going to start. Free event admission, so like an OCS season pass or an NPC or nationals or Euros. And this will toss us to Chris too. Each of the 8 will get a V card player card design. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you all have set yourselves apart in this game, and you deserve to be part of the actual cards. So look out on the forums. You're each going to get a certain V card that the advocates kind of picked especially for you. I think everyone can guess what Adam's will be, but we all appreciate it. So look out for the forums. If you want an Advocate Award, you're going to get a V card design, a virtual light card. And Adam, I feel like the Echo Base Trooper is kind of lame, so I'll probably give you another one too. And I'm only saying that because I didn't clear it with Jared first, but he can't take it back now. Yeah. So I'll get you Echo Base Trooper and another one too. All
right, so
sorry, Jared.
No, I know that's reminded me again too how Adam's on more than one pod, we'll say, and that stuff is really time investment. So again, congratulations to Adam and everybody else. So Taco Bill wanted me to make an announcement, and this is an inevitable thing. But in the vein of awards, surprise everyone, Joe Wilson's the 2021 Player of the Year. This is his third straight one. I think it's his fourth, maybe his fifth overall. I think it's his fourth per the website, but I wouldn't be shocked if there might have been one other one in there because I don't think we have every single year. But we won't go through all the pomp and circumstance on that right now. But we are going to say that he's going to lead a panel I think this was announced at the beginning of the year. I'm sure there's a forum post on this. He will lead a panel that will determine the breakout player of the year and the most improved player of the year. And that'll include, I believe it's 8, quote, highly active players that Joe will, lead the panel, and they'll decide on those 2. And those will probably be announced on a Holo Theater in the next couple weeks. So
Exciting, yeah.
All right, so that is the Advocate Award section of the stream. Let's go to the next section. And if we disappear, I'll bring us right back. But we'll segue right now. All right, so everyone hang tight.
You got this.
Yeah.
It works.
You can do it.
Yeah. Okay. I just had to move it to the different scene. So hopefully everyone can still hear us and see us. Hopefully we're back now.
Yes.
Let's confirm. Are we back? Okay. All right. Cool.
No one's ever really gone.
This is my. I'm really, really excited about this. So let's see. How do I kick this off? So a couple months ago in Slack, some people talked about a pretty cool prize support idea, and this has been developing over a couple months. Christian Knudsen, one of our Volunteers of the Year award, it was instrumental in getting this done. And some of you all may remember, or I'm not, I shouldn't say may remember, well aware of, here, let me move us over here. Oh no, I clicked the wrong thing. No, this will work. These guys, right? So these are OTSD boxes. Those are, cool little size. You fit 120 cards in there pretty easily. The problem is that a lot of them are, 23 years old, and people use them all the time, and the bottoms fall out, and the tops get all, what do you call it? Edge wear and surface wear, and they get white. And of course nowadays we have shields, right? And they, I like these things, but it's tough to use them. I think Scott comes to mind. You usually go to tournaments with one of these, and then you have like a separate thing for your shields, right?
Yep.
I think a lot of people do that. So, of course, we have the JP OTSD ones. And I am very happy to announce that going forward, we are going to have a major prize support item for this year, and I'll get into how people can earn them. Next generation deck boxes. So these are, as you can see, these are full slip art that we've had on cards. And there's 6 different ones. We have Admiral Raddus, Blizzard 8, Kylo Ren AI, Ahsoka Tano, Rey AI, and Darth Vader, Betrayer of the Jedi. So you can see the different colors. We have a lot of these. They're all in my garage right now. We're going to be giving them away as much as possible. Starting with the NPC will be probably the first way. And I have one of mine right here. So they are, as you can see, they're longer than the normal, so you can fit shields. And thanks to Chris Kelly and Ryan Serson, who forced me to double sleeve my cards, makes it fit. So I have in here, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. I have 2 decks, double sleeved, all my shields. I have a couple dividers in here, like the, you guys know this thing from Worlds, or it might be upside down, the new Hyper Route Navigation chart. And they fit comfortably. And it's really cool. It's more, I can just walk around with this. I don't have to walk around with my separate box for my shields. And so I have a couple. So I have the Kylo one. I have a lot of them. So I hope people really like them. When I brought this idea to the advocates, I think they were all more excited about this than I was. Here we have Raddus. I'm sure Connor Britton might want this for Rogue One. But yeah, so we have a bunch of them. Now, you guys might ask, how do I get these? So let me pull up my window here. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. When I go to the different scene, I have to add a different source. So here we go. This will be easy. So you guys can see this. So we just talked about Joe. So I've been kind of shorthand calling these next gen deck boxes. I don't know if we can come up with a little classier name, or not classier, a little different name. But there are going to be a bunch of reasons, and basically high level, the reasons are going to be if you're a very active player, or you're a very active volunteer, or you're an active, we'll call it benefactor. It would be part of the donor program. So first up, this is probably the way that most people will get them. Pre-register and attend an in-person major event. Obviously the NPC is coming up, and this is why, these aren't, NPC is interesting in that it's not really like everyone has to pre-register as opposed to other events where not everyone technically has to. Pre-register, go. This will also be for, people like Worlds, for example, like Tim Simon, Dan, Jan, like they gave it their whole weekend. They traveled, and they participated in commentary. So, and Greg and Show. So you do a major contribution like that, we're going to give you these boxes, and you can pick one of the 6. So that's probably the most popular. Also, so for people that can't get on planes or or have a little harder time getting to live events, play a lot of your OCS games. I'm not even going to say 100%. You can do 95. So I think that works out to maybe 70 out of 72. That would get you a choice of one of these boxes. And you know what the sneaky thing about these things is? I could just put all the prize support that I owe people into these things, wrap them up a little bit and ship them out. Poker chips, foils, any kind of like cool little nifty things, couple things that are in the donations package. And I really wanted to, I told the advocates this, the reason I want to do this stream as quickly as possible was so, these are going to be in the league kits, which is my next one, donations package, majors. So that's where I wanted to let the secret get out. We could talk about this. So the third way will be playing a league. So if you're an organizer, there's going to be 3 of these in each league kit. The organizer gets one, the winner gets one, and the third one can be, a random person or someone who's, very diligent, plays a lot of their games, very, very active. That'll be up to the organizer to give it out. Tier 3 donor, and that'll be in the donations package. We'll have details on that later this week, maybe early next at the latest. Or other ways, as we kind of want to, again, in the vein of recognizing volunteerism or active player, or just generally making an outsized volunteer contribution. So some of you might see, and I had like a mystery prize in the Gem PC, Batmouse's 6 Gem PC. Sign up. Sign-up's open for a few more days. So I think 3rd and 4th place are going to get one, and I'm going to give 2 away to people who aren't in the top 8, I think it was. So stuff like that, the Jaw Will Brawl, we'll probably give out a couple. A couple other examples. Obviously, Advocate Award winners are going to get them. Side events. I don't. If we do alt events or team event or maybe the constellation event, maybe we'll do 1 or 2 for those types of things, or like we did the Premier Reflections 2 event this past Worlds, maybe that type of thing. If we did it again, we give out a couple of these as well. So I think people really like them and really want to. Some people might really want to collect all 6. So with that, like I said, if you earn one, you'll get to pick which one of the 6, assuming we're still in supply. We're kind of going to feel out how quickly these things are going, because I had to estimate, how long these would last. So if certain ones are, if everyone wants Ahsoka, we can, try to remedy that and get some more and adapt that way. But there'll be a maximum of 3 per year. So, someone like Brian Fred might be, he might want to get all 6. There will be a maximum. And you guys can trade these. Obviously, just like foil slips or poker chips, do not sell these. But for trading them, some people might want them more than others. Maybe you have one, you're content with it. Maybe you have one for your main decks that you bring, and then you have one for all your 61st to 75th cards and your backup decks. For if you're Joel Olsen, you're going to make a top 8. You pick your secondary decks in that other one, that type of thing. So those are the deck boxes. Hopefully everyone really likes them, and hopefully they're received really well. But like anyone who registers for the NPC, not even pre-register, if you register and attend the NPC, you will get some of these. I'm going to bring a bunch of them up to New Jersey in end of January. So let me pause there. And any questions, comments, Scott and Chris, or the chat as well on these?
Yeah, so you're right. Having the extra box to first off, can we put them on the screen so people can see them again? Good. But the biggest thing I would say is having this box hold everything, double sleeves. I know one of our goals in the future is to maybe have additional, and the tournament team's working on this, right? We've got the hyper-out navigation chart, but I think our goal is to maybe have some additional things like that. So it'll be nice to have them in one place. Absolutely. I love them. Which one's your favorite, Chris?
Vader. What about you?
I think I like Kylo. I really like the face. It looks good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And seeing these, I thought of certain players as these, like, I feel like you know, like I said, like my teammate Connor, he probably like Radis because he likes Rogue One a lot. You know, number one fan of Force Awakens, JJD, Jared Konsker will probably like the Rey, maybe even the Kylo. You know, a lot of people really like Ahsoka. She's got a pretty big following. So yeah, and like, you know, the same way that there, you know, no promises, but the way that there was 6 for the OTSDs, and they came out with another 6 for the JP OTSDs. You know, depending how these things go, depending how, you know, a couple factors, maybe we do another series of 6, especially considering there's been so much awesome card art lately.
Yeah, I know one of the things that we're trying to do for Jawa events is find an AI Jawa. So maybe Christian and you know, Ming and some of the team can look at ways to make some Jawa related stuff, because I'm sure people would love to have one of those on maybe a box in the future.
Yeah, that might be, actually gives me the opportunity to plug. That might or may not be one of the AIs for 2022, which on one of the upcoming Holo Theaters, we're going to let Dan spoil the checklist. And that was something a few people wanted to know. And luckily our great graphics team and prize support team, looks like they're going to be able to get that done. So, and proofing as well was part of that. So look out for those in the next month or two. We're going to announce all the 2022, all 18 of them, the AIs. Although 2 of them everyone knows because of the online play week. Okay. All right. So we're at 11 of the hour, and let's get into Chris's area now. And let's see. Oh, we'll bring us back. So he disappeared. I'm going to bring us back.
Is it spoiler time?
It's time, Chris. All right. So we have us on the screen. Should I show the one? There's 3 that are like the other. There are 3 that are similar, and then there's one that's not. Should I show the one that's not?
I guess just let me just give a quick intro. Yeah. Thank you everyone for sticking around, and obviously for all the volunteers. But we did want to close the show with something that's coming up to a meta near you. Obviously, because of the way design is working now, it's a little more rapid paced. So whereas we used to be kind of setting and forcing the meta, now we're kind of almost following it, and there's pros and cons with that. But one of the things is leftover from when we were designing commuting, we had another route we were going to go. So that's going to be released in this coming set. It's going to be probably the main light side theme. So it's a pretty big spoiler, and I could absolutely do an entire show about the development of this card, and maybe I will. It did go through about 1 million iterations, but I am certainly proud of how it came out. It was a huge undertaking. Jared, if you want to post it now, yep. It was basically our goal to capture the entire Skywalker saga. You know, there's people that love episodes 1 through 3, 4 through 6, and 7 through 9. We wanted to just capture it all in one card, and credit to the design and development team, the proofers, the play testers, the game slicers. I'm really proud of what we did, and the artwork just jumps off the card and makes you feel Skywalker saga. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you're all reading it now, not listening to me, but hopefully on the replay. It really reminds me, and I wish we could, I'm sure we can't because of copyright, but play the teaser trailer for Force Awakens. If you all remember, it has that classic Skywalker theme while Rey's racing across the desert and has that line from Luke, "The Force is strong in my family. My father has it, I have it, and you have that power too." So I really think that this captures the feel of Star Wars. There's a lot more to go with the theme. There's a lot more that can be developed, and it's pretty open-ended. So you basically get to pick your hero and sling some cards. So I'm really happy about that. I hope you all, have fun with it. We have a few more spoilers to go along with it because it kind of doesn't make sense in a vacuum. Yep. So Jared, if you want to post some of those.
Yep, I'm going to move us around.
That image is so, someone just asked, what's that Luke icon?
That's a great question for another time. Isn't that what Matt says?
Yeah, about Anakin's lightsaber?
Yeah, it's how the theme kind of all comes together. It's a Skywalker icon. Mm-hmm. And you will basically, the deck will be, you start one of those 3 locations that are very integral to the development of Anakin as the chosen one, Luke as his son, and Rey as presumably the final Skywalker. Where Anakin got his start at the slave quarters with his mom, where Luke sent his father off on the funeral pyre, and where Rey learned to be a Jedi training with Leia. You start one of those sites. There's a different way where you get the epic event out. Those sites are basically you choose your hero. And when you pick your hero, you get your hero's effect. I think the only one you guys probably know about is some Luke effect that doesn't really get played much.
That everyone loves.
But when you start the Luke site, you get the Luke effect. When you start the Rey site, you get the Rey effect. And when you start the Anakin site, you get the Anakin effect. And it basically is, here's your hero. If you'll notice something that I'm really happy Graphics was able to do, on the side of the epic event are all of the era icons, and they correspond with the choice. They line up with the person that you picked, the hero that you picked. It's that era. And there's a few more cards yet to be spoiled in the theme. But the only thing, and I'm trying to talk to the rules advocate, but so far he's saying no. I'm trying to make it so that when you start it, you have to say the line, either my father has it, I have it, or you have the power to, in the voice.
Or you lose.
But so far it's a non-starter. So again, I hope you all have fun with this and just feel Star Wars when you do it. I can't see that epic event and not hum the music.
Yeah.
Sorry to everyone who I play.
It is very,
I will
epic.
say that one of the things I'm hoping the tech teams can do is if you play Star Destroyer in the new UI, it says that line. So, we can hopefully get this to pop up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
But yeah, and just a reminder, with all these spoilers, we do want to get these onto the forums in an orderly fashion so that, if folks aren't able to watch these things, they could see it. But, we definitely want, watchers to get first look at it, and then we'll get it up in the coming days. So yeah, no, this is really cool. I'm looking forward to playing with these. Probably the Rey one might be my favorite, or the episode 7, we'll say. But yeah, this was, and Chris, I don't know if we have to pull back the curtain and all, but this is, I think you said this in the 17 questions thread, that there was a lot of back and forth to kind of get this right, just because there's a lot of big moving parts here with these.
Yeah, and I probably don't have enough time tonight, but I could do an entire show of where this theme started out to where it is. And to be honest, as I see it now, the fact that it fits so simply on 10 lines of an epic event to match the epic saga really is pretty poetic. And it's simple. It's you pick your hero. And when you do Skywalker things with the Skywalkers, you fight and you kill Sidious. Then good
times.
Things happen, and really the deck can be as wide open as you want it. The restrictions are only which Jedi you can play. Obviously, the Anakin gets his buddy Obi-Wan, Luke gets his buddy, the older Obi-Wan, and Rey gets her grumpy buddy Luke, and then everyone gets Yoda because he's Yoda.
Yeah, he's the man.
But those are the only character restrictions, and it's fun. It's the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
I love the idea of being able to use some Jedi testing because you can play Yoda's hut still in Yoda. So that's thank you.
that was for you.
Scott on playtesting. Can I Jedi test with this and have it not be NPE?
And listen,
You're
some
our
of
line
the
of
volunteers, those playtesters have been amazing, right? And Gemp and everything that everybody's done to get them to play, they're able to make this a reality. So.
Yeah, and it's so cool listening. Again, shout out to Kendall, who does those interviews with Jerry Darcy, and Brandon's had some good interviews with Chuck Kallenbach and some excerpts, and you just hear how playtesting used to work. Actually, even Jason Robinetta, he was on that CCG History podcast, which is really cool. But you just hear of playtesting back then and what it is now, and it's like, sorry, there's no way they were getting the reps or the different points of view and just the ease of the way that GEMP allows playtesting to get just lots of things, lots of documentation in there. It's really neat to see how it is nowadays.
Absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, so probably some, maybe some more pieces to come here, and as Set 17 comes together, people could start really seeing how this all evolves. And obviously, Chris, you're on the record. This will all be legal for the NPC. It's hopefully out at least 4 weeks, but never any promises just because there's so many moving parts. But hopefully 4 or 5 weeks before, but definitely no less than 3, right, before the NPC.
Right, yeah, and as you can see, these cards are PDF'd and the images are good. So our volunteers have been working overtime. So much of the set is very, very close. So as soon as we have a final product that everyone signs off on, we'll get it out there. We know players want to get it in testing. So when we can get it, we will.
Yeah, and another quick shout out to Christian, who made all the, we don't usually do images with spoilers, but he really hustled and worked the proofing team and other members of the graphics team to just get these things good to go. Same thing with the Mara Jade one. And there's one other one that'll probably drop in the next few days. And yeah, I think a lot of people will be really intrigued by that one as well. So there actually is one more announcement. I think I'm going to toss this to Scott, or let Scott do it. But we have an announcement about a major event in 2022, and the kind of the lead on organizing this. We're going to disappear for 1 minute. I'll be right back. We're going to go to the next screen. Hey guys, I'm just going to this final. Okay, we're back. So I know the lead of getting this done and sealed was very anxious to get it announced. So I think, even though it's a bit far away, but so I cleared this with the advocates. So, Scott, can you see the screen?
Yep.
All right, fire away, and then I'll do the big reveal. I'll drop the or raise the curtain, I guess.
So first off, big thanks to Drew and Coffee Pass, right, for working to get this done. But essentially, we've got, what was it? Mike and Bill and Drew, I think, worked together to get Worlds in Atlanta. So it's going to be between Thursday, October 13th to October 16th in downtown Atlanta. It was actually the event we were at, I believe, for Nationals that one year.
Yep, same venue. Yep.
Yeah, so I loved it. It was a beautiful hotel. It was fantastic. So I'm excited to be able to go back there.
Yeah. So again, big shout out to Drew and Kessling and Taco Bill, and obviously the Chris Show and the whole tournament committee and the other advocates. I know Greg, and obviously Casey's always involved in these. Shout out to everyone for that. We were in a unique circumstance last year with Worlds and NPC kind of being on the books already in 2020 and then kind of getting punted to 2021. So this was like a fresh evaluation, so people could start marking their calendars.
And it's exciting because I know we're going to lock out the trying to do like something in the West Coast again in 2022. We're also working on something in Minnesota for 2022. So it's good to have this stuff set up ahead of time.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know, and not to steal any thunder, but I know Taco Bell's obviously kind of leading it and working with the whole tournament committee to get the calendar ironed out the way it was last year. I think last year was announced on January 31st, all the events for the year, and that should be the case. Hopefully, it's probably going to be earlier, not to make any promises, but it just, we've had some good lessons learned. We ran a couple of retro events last year, one online, one in person, combined with a major event. This Jawa format's doing great stuff, and the leagues and states and regionals hopefully can do more live events this year than this coming year. And that's, again, with the deck boxes, the league kits, the regionals kits, the states kits. Details on those are going to be coming in the next couple of weeks as well. Okay. So even though we started a little late, we still we're just a little over 10:02 Eastern. That's about everything I had. Chris and Scott, anything else to add in there, or add in here, I should say?
I'm okay. I think I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm good to go. Chris?
Yeah, same. Appreciate everyone watching. Appreciate everything all the volunteers have done. Jared for setting this up. What a great idea. It really is a privilege to be able to recognize and honor our volunteers. So I'm thankful for this opportunity. And thankful, for the whole community and making this a fun distraction from real life.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll get this on YouTube. And hopefully, if you're watching this on replay, thank you for doing that as well. But everyone, take care, and we'll see you around the Star Wars CCG universe. Take care.
Bye-bye.